The paddock Bouvier, slightly edgy with two handlers. Any other paddock thoughts, Steve Mellish?
Yeah, he's a bit tucked up. He had two handlers and he came in. So it didn't get any worse all the way round, but he's certainly less calm than his stablemate. I thought Altior looked very well. I thought Charbel looked very well. If I had to give it, there is, in fact, Q Charbel. He'd just about been my pick of the paddock, and I've never seen Tombstone before, and I liked him as an individual.
Let's stick with Charbel, seeing as he's in shot, heading to post with that sheepskin noseband. He's wearing a tongue tie for the first time. He's improving. He bumped into Yanworth a couple of starts back, but showed better form to win at Musselburgh last time.
Yeah, it'd be wrong to underestimate him. He's got a rating of 147, which is pretty high, as you say. No excuse to come second to Yanworth, and he bolted up at Musselburgh. Both those efforts were on a right-hand track, and whether that's significant or not, time will tell, but it's a possibility. And he's tongue-tied for the first time today, which is a bit odd.
Indeed, the ground should be okay for him. He's trying Cheltenham for the first time. Let us find some of the others in the race. It would be nice to see Min, if we could, and beaten in both of his starts in Ireland so far. He showed a bit of keenness in his races, and one of the concerns that has been batted around is whether he might boil over in the paddock beforehand. There was no sign of that.
No, they didn't bring him in particularly late. He came in, with the others, and he's been absolutely fine. Yeah, he's 2 from 2 over hurdles. He's won really easily, and the form of particularly his second race has worked out pretty strong. The only quibble you could have with him is the price, because this is a deep race. On what he's done, you could argue he's on the short side, but there's a lot of confidence behind him, and he comes here on the back of a very impressive start to his hurdles career from connections who've rather farmed this race recently.
Yes, they've won the last 3 runnings of this event. Willie Mullins has won it 5 times in total, but the combination of Walsh, Ritchie and Mullins have won the last 3. Amazing, and they're favourites to add a 4th title. He's unknown on this kind of ground, but trainer Willie Mullins is confident about it. Let's move on to Altior, who is very progressive, unbeaten in 4 starts over hurdles. He can be a little bit keen in his races, but the good pace here that we are anticipating should help him settle. The most impressive run was the one at Kempton, where he briefly, you wondered whether he was in trouble, and then, my goodness, how he found.
Yeah, he was ridden just before the home turn, really picked up, ended up thrashing pretty decent horse, 140 rated Open Eagle by double digits. He and his stable companion have got marks in the mid 150s, which would have won 7 of the last 10 Supremes. So just to give you an idea of the sort of calibre of horse Min is taking on. He's got to be a good horse to beat them if they run to their what the official handicapper thinks they're capable of.
And Altior's got a rugged quality. He got a bump early on in that race in which he defeated Open Eagle, and he just shrugged it off and carried on with his own race. How about his stable companion Bouvier? They were conjuring with the Neptune at one point. The presence of Yanworth might have convinced them to come here. I think 2 miles is the right trip for him.
Definitely the way he's travelled in bumper races. I think his form is slightly less solid than his stable companion, or less definite substance to it. But with him, it's more the impression he's made. He was very, very impressive on his hurdle debut at Newbury. I don't think you see a hurdler jump better. He was very quick over his obstacles, and he had a straightforward task at Hunter the next time out, and he bolted up by a slight fluff at the last. He cruised in the race like he was much the best horse. So he's a very interesting runner. Hard to put a real figure on. I feel confident that Altior is every inch as good as he's been rated by the handicapper. Bouvier might well be, maybe not quite the depth to the horses behind him, if you know what I mean.
Bells Hill is 12 to 1. Now that's after disappointing and not jumping very well last time. There were some mistakes even when he won the time before. His case presumably rests via jumping better on a sander surface.
Yeah, drying ground. He was second to Barters Hill at Aintree last year on a decent surface. He was going to, until this week, he was going to run in the Neptune. He'd been rerouted for this. I think this is the right choice for him personally. I think 2 miles at the moment is probably his right trip.
Let's hear from Dave Nevison, who's in the ring with the latest market news.
It's all about Min out here. The 2 to 1 is available now on 2 boards out of about 25 on the rails. Some are going as short as 7 to 4. I think the general price out here is going to be 15 to 8, although I'm looking now, that seems to be going. There's a few boards left, but punters have settled absolutely on the winning formula over the last 3 years. Willie Mullins, Rich Ritchie and Ruby Walsh to land the Supreme, and this time it's Min. I suspect 15 to 8 will be the SP.
So let's talk about Tombstone. Second twice, the last twice. Traffic problems on the penultimate start, but he sort of hung in behind last time. Now, Michael O'Leary, who's in charge of Jig and Sandstead, he wondered whether the horse has really got the game for the fight, or it could be that better ground would suit.
And it could be that it was outstayed as well. It was 2 mile 2, wasn't it, that day? Whatever else, again, he's not one I think to underestimate. There are some horses here who are in their own right, pretty good horses.
Absolutely.
And this has been runner-up in 2 Grade 1. Now, I agree, it may be that he lacks the absolute bottle. We'll find out. But he boasts good form, and if he does improve, and he's got a good cruising speed for better ground, he comes into the mix.
There are potential improvers in this race: Super Sunday, Silver Concord, Hollybush Henry, North Hill Harvey.
Absolutely. I mean, particularly, Silver Concord on the ground, you think this would suit him. Super Sunday is going the right way in Ireland. The horse has been back. Petit Mouchoir has got, again, a good level of form. He has come up a bit short in Grade 1 before. I think he has got to improve. Better ground might improve him, though.
We're just moments away now from the sound we've all been waiting for, that famous roar prior to the first race at the Cheltenham Festival. It's the roar that greets the runners for the Sky Bet Supreme Novices Hurdle, a Grade 1, a race in which we discover potential future champions. Hopefully we're going to do the same all over again. Let's hand over to our commentator for this first race at Cheltenham. It's Mike Cattermole.
So at last the talking is about to end. The roller coaster, the world's most exciting roller coaster, is about to begin as the runners make their way down onto the track proper. Just being told to turn away from the tapes as they came in. The yellow flag has been raised so they can walk in, or rising trot in, this field for the Sky Bet Supreme Novices Hurdle. Min, the 15-8 favourite here to win it. And now they're walking down towards the tapes. Yellow flag is raised, starters ready, and we're about to get underway for the 2016 festival. And they're off. And away they go for the Sky Bet Supreme Novices Hurdle. A short run to the first of 8 flights. Charbel and Min very handy as they come towards it. Super Sunday touchdown in third place. There's a mistake by Mr. Miyagi at the back of the field there. Handy on the outside then is Bell's Hill, the beige and black half jacket on the flanks of Super Sunday. Then the grey Petit Mouchoir, followed on the inside then by Tombstone. Tracking them is William H. Bonney. In amongst them there as well is Altior, who's in about 6th place. Followed on the outside there by the lilac colours of North Hill Harvey, who's tracked there then by Hollybush Henry on the outside of Penglai Pavilion. Working the way to the inside then is Silver Concord, who's racing together with Mr. Miyagi and Bouverdare, who's held on to at the back of the field. And they're going a fairly steady pace. They come up towards the second flight. Only 8 lengths would cover the field as they go over the second. They all jumped it well. And out in front it's Charbel, who leads Min in second place, followed by Super Sunday in third, and then just behind them on the outside then is Bell's Hill of the 2 Jigginstown runners. Tombstone on the inside there of the grey horse as they make their way up the hill. Petit Mouchoir as they head across towards the point where they turn left-handed. Then comes on the outside then, sitting handy as well, is Hollybush Henry. North Hill Harvey is right up there as well. Towards the rear still is Silver Concord, who's still sitting about 6 or 7 lengths off the pace. Likewise Bouverdare. Mr. Miyagi is well in touch, but has been relegated just about to last place now as they race on down the hill. Oh, Min took off just a half a stride too early there, but he got away with it. He still races in second place as Charbel leads this Sky Bet Supreme Novices field down to a hill towards the 4th flight now. In second is Mind, within about a length or so. Super Sunday is next, followed by Petit Mouchoir. On the outside of him is Altior, still sitting handy. Followed wider out then in the beige colours there by just a mistake there by Bell's Hill, jumped it rather slowly. Hollybush Henry's well in touch. Behind them, William H. Bonney getting a good toe into the race. And then just behind these then comes Tombstone, just tracking the grey, that's Petit Mouchoir. Followed then further back by Bouverdare, Mr. Miyagi. Silver Concord's been relegated to last place now as they get ready for the flight at the top of the hill. And the leader, Charbel, just hit that slightly. Min is travelling very strongly in second. Super Sunday is next. Petit Mouchoir, Altior now pushed along the outside is Bell's Hill. Tombstone comes next with William H. Bonney. And then wider out then to North Hill Harvey, who's well in touch. So too as well, just behind them is Bouverdare. And then Hollybush Henry trying to get into it now as they race on left-handed coming down the hill now. Just 3 more flights to take. Still Charbel out in front. Min travelling supremely well in second as they go down towards the third last. Altior much closer on the outside now in the black jacket, with Super Sunday close up as well as they took 3 out. Followed then on the outside as he gets a bit closer now, North Hill Harvey, but they're racing down the hill towards the second last. Charbel out in front, Altior now being pushed along to go with him on the outside. Min still travels strongly, Super Sunday, and then behind these comes Tombstone, Petit Mouchoir, and then Bouverdare getting into it now as they race on then towards the entrance of the home straight in the Sky Bet Novices hurdle, and Altior on the outside of the weakening Charbel with Min on the inside. These two now settle down as they race up the hill. Altior quickens up here and goes on from Min in second. Charbel, Super Sunday and Bouverdare. Here's the final flight, and it's Altior who's clear. A terrific leap when he needed it. Min can't pick up, he's in second place, and Altior is bounding clear up the hill, and it will take the Sky Bet Supreme Novices hurdle in tremendous style. Altior for Nico de Boinville and Nicky Henderson beats Min. In third place then, running on pretty well, was Bouverdare, followed home then in fourth by Tombstone.
This is the race that Nicky Henderson has been waiting since 1993 to win. Since then, he sent out 11 horses to finish second or third in it, and this time around Altior has made no mistake. An impressive success in the hands of Nico de Boinville, who of course had that most marvellous day when winning the Cheltenham Gold Cup on Conagry last year. He has opened his festival account for 2016 with this magnificent success, a fluid success from Altior, and he has won this comfortably from Min, who made a significant blunder at the third, jumped big at the fourth, but has stuck to his task likably. He just wasn't good enough. And in third it was Bouverdare, who was a little edgy beforehand but worked his way into the race nicely, and he has stuck on for third place. It's close in fourth between Tombstone and the long-time leader Charbel. Tombstone has been confirmed as fourth ahead of Charbel. We were hoping for a very good horse race in which the horses have shown really high-class horse form would come to the fore. That's exactly what happened, but Altior's brushed them aside.
It's a brilliant performance, Lydia, and this is setting the meeting up with a star performance. First of all, the time is 4 seconds below standard, 3:47. He has absolutely bolted up. He had in the right position to out, sat fourth or fifth place, jumped beautifully and moved up at the right time. We know he's strong. We saw at Kempton how strong he is at the trip, and the battle between him and Min was very brief. He gained the upper hand well before the last, got a magnificent jump at the last, and has absolutely hacked up, and he is right up there with the best recent winners of the Supreme. There were a lot of horses high rated in. The fourth is rated 140s, the third and the second are both rated 150s, and he has annihilated them. He will get quotes from the champion hurdle, and quite rightly too. We've seen a very, very exciting novice.
Nicky Henderson has brought the likes of